Hi, I am Pam Sheppard of Pam Sheppard Ministries, and I am an interactive person, but I prefer to interact one-on-one or in small groups. So there's information here in the captions and in the description as to how to contact me. And you can also comment. And certainly I would like for you to subscribe. I try to do videos at least 3 or 4 times a week. And that's about where I am right now. So today I want to share about spiritual blindness. We live in the church age of Laodicea. You can read about that in Revelation chapter 3. And the major characteristic of the Laodicean generation is blindness. The Lord said it in addressing that church age. You say you are rich, have need of nothing, and isn't that what the prosperity gospel says? I am that I am. I'm prospering. Isn't that what everybody wants to do now? Is prosper according to standards set by the Christian world as to what you should have. And isn't that the general way of the world? It's deception. I'm remembering the one that the Lord spoke to, who sincerely wanted to follow him, but he couldn't. The Lord said, come, but he had too many possessions. So the prosperity gospel can literally be and is an open door to deception, to spiritual blindness. And we pick it up in countless ways. And since I've been in the Lord for 42 years, I have had my struggles to try to remain in truth and to not go off on some supernatural passageway and get off the road to light and go back to darkness again. That almost happened to me recently. But I was equipped to overcome my flesh and my desires for the supernatural by putting it in check, having some objectivity, testing and trying the spirits, and recognizing that this new thing was not from God. But there was some truth to the new thing. There was some truth in it. And what I could do is what people say all the time, get the meat, but spit out the bones. And then Leave it at that. Wait for the next opportunity that more light is placed on that truth. Here it is. It goes like this. If you recall Daniel, when he went into prayer, seeking to know what would become of his people, the Israelites, that at the moment he set himself to pray, a war took place in heaven. There was a spirit who was dispatched to give Daniel what he was looking for, and he was overtaken by, in the spiritual sphere, by a band of fallen angels who stopped him and held him in his place for, I believe it was 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I haven't looked at that scripture lately, but it's coming to my mind now. And what happened was that stronger angels needed to come and perhaps violently take those messengers of Satan out of the way so that Daniel could receive the message. And what a message Daniel got. John received the same message about the 10 horns and the 7 kings. Same message received centuries later by John on the Isle of Patmos that Daniel had also gotten. And he got it beginning with his prayer. A lot of people think that the effectual, fervent prayer of the righteous means all this hooping, hollering, and screaming. No. I've seen this in church. We had someone back in the early 80s. He'd been there for decades. And everybody used to say, boy, couldn't Tommy pray. Woo! He prayed so hard and so rough, and the sweat would pour down from his head. He would pray like that. And everybody would, it was like a catalyst. You know, somebody's going, ooh, ooh, over here, and ooh, ooh, and they're jumping up and they're dancing and they're wailing and they're crying. Once Tommy got into that sweating kind of prayer. But one day, talking about symbolism of blindness, Tommy was walking around the church looking for his glasses. I was sitting in the pulpit, hadn't got up yet. The service was over. I was not the pastor, but I was one of the ministers in the church, and I was allowed to sit in the pulpit. So I had an eye view of him searching and looking for his glasses. It was a Sunday. Monday, he went to work. And when he got there, he got crushed on his job. between two trucks, and nobody passed by, and he suffocated and died. Now, where was the prayer? Why didn't all that wild praying that Tommy did avail him much? Because that's really not how prayer is supposed to go. That's a whole nother video. I've already been going on here for 10 minutes. Don't have time to get into that. What I'm saying is this: whatever knowledge you have, make sure that it's truth, that it's in the light. I'll give you an example. I am waiting for the revealing of a world leader to come forth as the Antichrist. To me, that is when the clock starts to tick to the coming of the Lord, because it says in Thessalonians that the Lord is going to be revealed after this man of perdition is revealed. Now, here's the thing. I got to make sure that the man of perdition is the Antichrist, because there is some bona fide information that others have gleaned that reveal that the Antichrist is really the papacy of the Catholic Church. So, I need to be in truth, that I can't be over here on the side looking for something to happen that is not going to happen. In other words, whatever it is that you know, whatever it is that we feel we know, we need to check that. If you're speaking in tongues, you need to check that. If you are expecting a rapture before, the tribulation sets in, you need to check that. If you believe that you are safe sitting in the church that you go to every Sunday, you need to check that. And how do you check things? You check it in prayer by coming before God and asking Him, Father, I know I'm living in the age of deception. I know this because you said it. And I believe that we are in the age of Laodicea. And so, in order for me to either get to truth or stay in truth, I need to know, where am I spiritually blind because of what the prophet Hosea declared, that, Father, your people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So if there's any knowledge here with what I am believing or assuming, reveal the truth to me so that I don't perish and be destroyed because I'm believing the wrong thing. I'll stop right here for now, but there's so much more to say.